Mic check, 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 mic check. Mic check, mic check, mic check, mic check, mic check, mic check, mic. How are you?
Hello. Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, huh?
Good. Also, if things are all fucky, I only have three USB ports right now, and so plugging my webcam in, I had to connect my Beats to my computer. So
Okay, that's
if it's
fine.
if the sound's all off, just let me know.
No,
I'll
it's
fix it.
fine. It's perfectly fine. Don't worry about it. I'm just looking for something. Coaching write-ups.
All good.
Ah, let me check.
Also, I for some reason my deathmatch thing canceled on me
Just
when
live
I was
stream one.
uploading
I'm
it to
home right
YouTube.
now, so my internet's good enough that I can like just see it.
Okay, perfect. It's in standard definition, just not HD right now.
Yeah, it's fine. Just live stream it. It only really matters when I'm at school because the Wi-Fi at my college is very bad, but
Hmm.
like for the months that I'm home, it's no problem.
Okay. Where do you go?
Uh, just because I'm
Or
streaming, I don't want to dox
yeah,
myself
I
right
just
now.
realized that.
Yeah, I have actually technically doxed myself on Twitter before, but yeah, I'll DM you after.
Yeah, it's all good.
Let me check to make sure. All right, cool. Just share your screen whenever you load into Valorant and have the deathmatch going.
Okay. I'll load it up right now. For some reason, like my beats will sound perfect for the rest of my computer, but not Valorant. Sounds like I don't know.
That's weird. I don't know.
Yeah.
Might have something to do with like however they compress sound or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that's the only thing I can think of. I don't have Nitro right now, so we only get
What's
30
what you
FPS,
got?
720.
So what would you say your goals are?
Um, so my Are you talking overall goals or goals for this session?
Um, a bit of both, I guess. Like, yeah.
Um, well, goals for this session um are like figuring out where my like what things I'm doing wrong, what things I could be doing better,
Hmm.
all the major stuff.
Hmm.
FPS games aren't my first I started out PC gaming with uh I started out PC gaming with League of Legends back in the day, um, and played about 4 years of that before getting into FPS games a little bit, and then starting to like play them seriously in um, 2020. And then I took a 10-month break, came back around October of 2021, um, and hit Immortal the first time December of that year, and currently peaking Immortal 2, um, and Ascendant 3 right now. My overall goals are to go pro, but that's still probably a year and a half out.
Okay.
Um, is kind of my guess based on mechanics, but I feel like high tier three is basically what I've been at. I peaked 115 NA on VLR with one of my teams.
Okay.
And then so yeah, this year's mainly the tier two scene is what I'm going to be working on. and
Yeah,
getting radiant,
and just
things
getting
like
in a
that.
position for next year's LCQ and
Pretty much.
challengers, qualifiers, or whatever you call them.
Yep.
All right, cool, cool. Um, let's see. On that, I noticed the fade in your deathmatch. You got the Sen 11s guy. Not, it's like some guy who just makes an off-brand 10 stream.
Oh,
It's funny. I don't know if that's actually him, but there's a guy with like 20,000 followers on Twitch just doing off-brand 10s things.
really?
Yeah, it's funny.
Oh, also, so one of the major things I've noticed with like my aim is I can readjust pretty well. I mean I win death matches all the time, but it's not showing it right now, but
You popped off in the pregame. It was you like got like 9 kills in a row in the pregame.
my mechanics are off right now, especially because I'm talking to. But like the big thing, especially in like higher elo, that I find to be a huge issue is the fact that like I can flick near the target, but I'm not exactly flicking onto the head specifically. And so because I'm losing that first shot or that first yeah, that first shot duel, like I just, you know, I lose the fight because of it. Like right there. It's like I can flick near them and I hit them and then I go like strafe and they're already killing me, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But part of that's movement, part like there's a lot of more things to that, I understand, but that's just something I've noticed when I've been aim training as well, is that same issue. Um and there's something else I was gonna say with it too. Um oh, one of the things is I play at 0.23 cents 800 DPI. So like part of it
70
is one
centimeters.
thing, do I need to, oh maybe. Honestly, I'm not good at that. But
Well, 0.25 is 65, so drop down to 0.23. It's probably like somewhere between 68 and 70.
okay.
I got like the
Uh,
0.33 number ingrained in my brain because that was what I mostly used when I did a lot of rock cell math. And I got the
uh,
0.25 number engraved in my brain because Zexro became addicted to it for a for like the few weeks
yeah.
that I was working with him, or like month or however long it was.
Oh, okay.
He got so addicted to it, I couldn't even like handle him anymore. It would be like you'd give him an aim routine and he'd be like, "Cool, but what sense should I use?"
I've been crouch running a lot too late or a lot lately.
Yeah.
But
Don't get me wrong, I don't play Valorant a ton, but like even when I play, I can't remember the last time I used the Phantom.
well, I agree. I don't know why the Phantom has been feeling a little nice though. It's just those
It's
140s.
more
Anytime
accurate.
I,
It is more accurate, I'm pretty sure.
yeah, the first shot is 100% accuracy, and then the spray's better. But
I don't think it is 100% on the first shot because I think I saw a stat on Reddit somewhere where some guys fired like 50 first shots into a target, like from like 50 meters or something, and only like 30 of them will hit or something. All right,
maybe it's
here.
ADS. Maybe it's ADSing that's
Okay.
the first shot
You want to
accuracy.
launch up Kovacs for me?
Sure.
Yeah, I'll try and find that stat.
It's all, I mean, I can literally just look at it in game too.
That's fair.
Do you want me to be sharing my mouse as well?
Uh,
Might as well turn on the camera.
you could, yeah, if you want. If you did all that work to set up the
Oop,
camera, but you didn't
that's the wrong
strike me
camera.
as someone who would have an issue. No, would need a Oh my God. That's 502.
It's the new G502 though. So it's got better skates, it's 40 grams lighter and hybrid switches.
40
And like you
grams
can
lighter is
really
still over 80 grams.
true. I I personally I use it mostly because of this thumb button here. I have one of my abilities bound to it, and I've just been playing on that for so long that yeah, I just got that's where I'm at right
That's
now.
90. You know other mice have buttons on the side, right?
Is it still too well, this is see, this is one of the things coming to somebody who's like knows what they're talking about when it comes to aiming and all of that is like, is there really that big of a difference?
I felt a big difference switching from a 40-gram mouse to a 25-gram mouse. I'm not saying that you
Really?
need to go that light. You could go 60, you could go 50 to like something in the mid 50s, like a Model O. You might not even like something as light as me because it won't give you like the same shape you're looking for. But a mouse that heavy, I can't see it being. I
Let's see what,
Here, play a scenario. Play a scenario. Let's see. Play share your screen so I can see the Kovacs too.
oh yeah, sorry, my bad.
Hold on a second.
I
I'll
did
be
put
right back.
together
I just gotta. There we go. Sometimes that happens, and you just gotta leave and reconnect immediately to get the Kovacs back up.
all good.
Let's just play. What did I make that playlist? I don't remember. Oh no, you made that
Oh,
playlist.
you made this on this was a playlist you made for one of your other coaching sessions. I was like,
Oh,
precision and smoothness is stuff I need to work on. So
huh.
until I figure out
That looks
exactly,
like
I
a
just kind of put this together.
Pure G horizontal click. Oh, that was probably not the best player, I'm guessing,
Okay.
because that does not look like the best playlist. Um, that's an odd. I really don't know what I was thinking with that playlist. I don't know. That's interesting. Is that an old one? Is that like something from like
Uh,
my first? Is that like it? Did you go to the spreadsheet and just pick like one of the first things?
no, I think it was a recent video.
Oh, it was a recent video.
But
Oh.
I don't think the playlist itself is 100% accurate. I just was,
Oh, yep, that would explain it. That would explain it. If you were just like trying
yeah.
to like figure
I
out
was trying to
scenarios.
put something together because all
Okay.
I was doing otherwise was using the benchmarks.
Okay, cool, cool. That's cool. So let's see. Go to the offline or online scenarios.
Okay.
That's online playlists.
Oh yeah, you're right.
I guess we could just do. Let's start out with raw mouse control clicking 3. Just do the 30% smaller version and yeah.
And challenge.
Yep. Okay. Okay, go to centering one. Uh,
Uh,
literally any of the first four.
okay.
180, 180, no strafes, strafes, whatever. Yeah, challenge it. Did you feel a lot of tightness in your hand?
Yeah, so like I definitely feel so what happens is I don't sometimes when I get an aim or in game, like I notice I'm using my wrist more and I'm like basically putting my wrist on the table and really just using that. Or
That'll
like when I'm
happen sometimes in
strafing,
game, especially on your or not even on your sense, but just like actually your sense is less likely to cause it. But just in Valorant in general, a lot of the time you'll only need to aim like 5, 10 degrees, just adjust your crosshair placement. So there will be times where you are only using your wrist, and that's not a big deal. As
okay,
long as like you can also use your arm. Like you don't need to force arm motion into every interaction in a game where half the time you're just adjusting slightly.
okay.
And I
But to
guarantee on 70 centimeters, you're not like constantly resetting your wrist, are you?
no, unless I'm doing like a, 180-degree turn or something like that where I gotta fully use my mouse pad. But
Yeah, yeah, but I'm saying like you're not like resetting before you've even tapped into arm. It's not like you're just wristing. It's like once you get an arm range flick or
that's true.
motion, your arm comes into play.
Yeah.
All right, then that's fine.
But yeah, to answer your question, yes, like I notice, like I definitely like my say probably where I feel it the most is in like my shoulder and then yeah, I guess my wrist does kind of lock up when it gets all tense. Interesting.
No, just making sure your mouse pad is very dirty and beat up. It's not designed to look like it spent like the past 500 years under the sea, right?
Oh, exactly. Well, it's this part is lighter on the camera when I'm looking at it, but yeah, it's a couple years old at least.
Um,
2 years maybe.
yeah, I'd probably invest in a new one.
Okay.
I'm gonna say that
Why is that?
like the issues with the mouse pad, like a lot of times the mouse pad will get slow spots, right? You probably noticed that a year ago where your mouse pad started having like some spots that were slower than others. But now it's so worn out, I think everything is a slow spot. So you might
Really?
not even notice it.
I actually have this new mouse pad. It's not like came with my gaming desk. Let me see. Harrison was.
If it's a tiny pad, you probably won't enjoy it.
No, it's a big
So you've had a spare mouse pad sitting around and you chose to like
one. Well, like for the past like week since I got this new
y-
gaming desk.
and you've spent a whole week on Jack Sparrow's underwear.
Yeah, I had that
That's a
Corsair mouse pad, you know?
that's a perfectly good mouse pad. Oh my god. And it might not be the best thing, but I mean,
All right, let's
jeez.
see.
Oh my god. Oh, that thing glides
I mean,
weirdly.
it does glide better. Okay,
I
it doesn't.
think, I
I
mean,
don't feel much
it,
of a difference,
you don't? Oh, well,
but
at least
also
for the
that's
sake of the camera, it's better. It's
just
like that thing was disgusting. Just
okay.
it might just be that
At least for the live stream.
the super light does have a lot of skates on, or not the super light, sorry. The that new G502 has a lot of skates, so maybe it's just very good at handling bad mouse pads. I don't know.
Well, like here's my old G502, and
That thing
oh,
has less
skates
skate.
are all coming apart. But yeah,
Yeah, that thing you might notice more of a difference if you ran that thing across your current and old
that's true.
mouse pad. I don't know.
Well, I will say the old G502, I 100% like. I felt a
It's a
huge
brick with a
difference
sensor
with the
tied to it.
skates. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say you should probably, especially watching how you played the raw mouse control scenario, I think you definitely would like a lighter mouse. And if you're feeling like way too tense, like you feel like your fingers are tense to, especially when you flick, maybe not.
Um, I click really hard on the mouse. That's one thing I
That's not
notice.
really a mouse
But
weight issue.
I mean, honestly, I've been playing with the G502 for a few years now and haven't really felt too much of a difference, but or like I felt a big difference switching from the old G502 to this one.
Yeah.
But I mean, outside of that, I also have big hands, so I mean, if you got any recommendations,
Um,
but
I would probably start unless your hands are like absolutely massive, like you're not like Dwayne the Rock Johnson, are you? Like, what do your hands measure in at?
I don't know. I'm 6'4", um, but hand wise, I can palm a basketball. That's about all I got size wise.
All right, like effortlessly palming the basketball, or like just barely.
I can effortlessly palm a soccer ball. I can't effortlessly palm a
So it's like
basketball. I
very
have to like,
close. All right, I'm gonna say your
yeah.
hands are probably a little bit bigger than mine because I'm like very close. Like I get it for like half a second, then the basketball starts to fall. So I'm gonna say your hands are like bigger than mine, but not by a ton. Um, so let me think about this. I'd experiment if you got money to burn. I'd experiment with different mice. If you don't, then that's fine. I'd probably start the rabbit hole with like a cheap, super light, like the main character of gaming mice, and then after that you could experiment lighter or like less light, and then yeah, or a
Okay.
Model O
Okay. Well,
model.
so honestly, unless I want to just like completely change mechanically, like relearn a keyboard button, it's like I use this mouse button for
What do you use on
one of
caps
my
lock?
buttons on caps lock.
Yeah.
I don't use caps lock.
Yeah,
I think
most
it
people
has
don't. It's a
the Mac.
very useful button. It's right next to A. It's right above Shift. It's in the middle of like where everything is, and no one uses it because it's annoying. Because when you go into chat,
Hmm.
it's
Oh
like
yeah.
all of a sudden you're typing in all caps. I'd say experiment with it. Maybe try to learn to use that ability on caps lock before you go into like, cause what ability is it?
So I use like my E ability is
And
what I
what is
use for
that
this.
for you
Like
usually?
that's like Reina dismiss.
I get that. So are you playing a lot of Reyna and need that really fast?
No, so I play mostly Sentinel and Initiator, and so it's usually like
S-
turret, arrow.
So you usually have a
Uh,
lot of time to think before you use it,
yeah,
and you don't need to be that fast and reflexive with that button.
technically,
And
no.
you have a completely vacant key right in the middle of everything of where your hand is.
Yes,
I
I see where you're going with it. Yeah,
I
that's
say
what
what
I.
you do for the next week or so, play on caps lock, played the ability, double bind it to that button and caps lock, right?
Okay.
And then at the end of the week, see if all of a sudden when you play on caps lock, your gameplay's ruined. Like pressing caps lock triggers someone's running out at you every time you press caps lock, you die, like, which probably won't happen.
Yeah.
So I think you'll find that it's really easy to switch. If you were like a big Reyna guy and you were always Jet guy, always needing that thing to get out of trouble, like need to press it without thinking, you'd be slightly, very slightly more justified. Still not that justified.
Yeah. No, you're
Yeah.
right.
But
Because
yeah, like
the only thing that I would play that like needs to really be pulled out that quickly is, I guess, like a Sky Flash. But I mean, everything else is
yeah,
like KO knife, stun, breach
yeah.
stun,
You'll find it probably pretty
arrow.
easy. And you got the double bind, so in case you accidentally press that reflexively, it won't get you like it won't make your team lose a scrim or something.
It's true. And then it would open up other mouses to just the
Yes.
two mouse buttons right there. Yeah.
Yes. And then hit so but you do feel like you're kind of tense on that mouse because like lighter mice are a very easy way to relieve some tension.
Wait, here, let me run the scenario one more time
Obviously you
just
gotta
to
like
get.
let go of the tension, but like there will be you're bound to feel tense on a heavy mouse just in order to control the weight.
So that might be, see these stuttering?
That can
Like
just
that's
be
one
a
thing I've been
skill issue. It
wondering.
doesn't have to be a tension issue.
Okay.
Like it's possible to be bad in aim with all the proper like
Fair.
physical mechanics and just like your tension's good, but you're not. And your centering run was not bad at all.
That's why I'm feeling it right now. And it's like I could see how some of these could be caught like falling behind could be caused behind by like a heavier mouse. Um, it could be skill issue. I mean, I don't feel like super tense, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel it in my arm mostly. Like
Mm-hmm.
my lat is kind of where I feel it the most, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't
That
know.
could
A
just
lot of people feel like very tense in their fingers, like and hand when they're trying to control a heavy mouse. I don't know. You might just be very good with the technique on this thing, or maybe you're just strong enough. And
hmm,
let's see if you wanna go to let's see now for the main part of this whole process. I want you
yeah.
to search up WPV reflex, and then you can probably just hit enter and it'll pop up. Let's start out with the easy version, the top thing, just to
Okay.
get you to get this down, challenge it. Now here's the catch: the sooner you hit the bot, the more points you get. So you want to hit it as soon as possible, even if it means missing like half your shots, because you'll get a lot more points hitting it like 3 milliseconds before it disappears and only hitting half of them than hitting it 1 millisecond before it disappears and hitting like all of them.
Yeah. My flicks are off today.
All right, hit done. Now here's the fun part. You get to do the speed flick one, the one, two below, and you've already played these before, so you understand the concept. I've noticed. So yeah, just again
Okay.
fast. Try to go fast. Try not to be overly accurate and challenge it.
Okay. See what I was talking about? Like I'll flick to the general area, but like actually getting on target.
I want you to play one wall, six targets small for me.
Okay.
It's five down. You don't
Oh,
need to search it up because it's right there.
perfect.
Challenge it. So a big issue you have is that you really want your flicks to land on the target every time.
Okay.
Which isn't the hmm. And that's not the worst thing of it's not the it's not a bad thought at least like but what it leads to is pretty bad technique. So what you'll do is here, I'll just share my screen for this one because it's actually pretty easy to show. Kovacs. Just give me a second. Um, just give me 1 second.
Yeah, you're fine.
Uh,
And yeah, I mean that's why I'm here because, like I said, I've just been
yeah.
doing the best I can with the what I can find and piecing together, stuff like YouTube videos and guides and stuff like that. But
Trying to think. I
how to
feel like
actually aim, I have no idea.
you
Like when
seem
it
like
comes
you
down to it.
watched like a what's the guy called? Yay? Did you watch a Yay video? Does he have any videos?
I've watched Yay videos. I've done Nat's aim training. I
I don't
was doing
heard of the
uh
names.
what was I doing? Voltac. I was doing Voltac for a little bit.
Nice,
And
nice.
I've been all over the place with trying Kovacs, trying aim labs. Like I'll stick to a routine for a few weeks or a month or so, and then
Alright, cool.
figure out what to do for my next issue. But yeah.
So, can you see my screen?
Um,
No, am I not sharing? I'm
no,
sharing,
I
yep.
don't think you are.
No,
Are
I
you?
am. I am, I can see.
Let me stop streaming. Okay, there we go.
Alright. So you see, this is you. You don't flick. You go very slowly, smoothly between targets. Try and land it on them. And then maybe a third of the time you'll have to micro adjust, right?
Mhm.
You treat a micro adjustment as like it's some kind of like last resort or something, right? When like a proper run of this would be like when they're very close, very clustered together, you don't always micro adjust. But like, uh, but most of the time you will have a micro adjustment in your flick, right? You'll flick, micro adjust, flick, micro adjust, flick, micro adjust, flick, micro adjust, micro adjust, flick, micro adjust. what'll happen is as you get, if you try to get into the habit of actually doing the micro adjustments instead of forcing yourself not to do them, you'll start to notice that they become a lot more reflexive and it feels like it's part of your flick. Like you're not thinking, oh, I'm below the target, I gotta go up. It just happens, right?
Okay.
Like what I find in a lot of my runs on those reflex flick scenarios is I'll flick and then I'll hit the target. But if I record it and do a replay, I'll notice I flick, I micro adjust, and then I hit the target, right? I don't think about how far off I am. It's like, it's just one motion, if that makes sense. It's just allows, because if you expect every flick to land exactly on target, like you were complaining about earlier, then you're going to be going so slow that you will die a lot. If you flick a bit faster, land off, and then just micro adjust and don't count on your first flick hitting the target, you will do a lot better, if that makes sense. Because you won't,
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
because like, and like, you won't even have to, after, I don't know, a few weeks to like 3 months, maybe, you won't even have to think much about the micro adjustment at all. It'll just kind of happen. You'll just end up on target. And that because it feels like a lot of your aim requires a lot of conscious thought from you right now. I could be wrong. That's usually how people who aim so slowly go. Like,
Yeah, so that's something I've been transitioning from is thinking a lot about my aim to reacting more.
yeah,
It's something I'm still transitioning on.
yeah, that's you'll. It's just like it's a lot of. It's a hard thing to do. It is a process, but just try not to get too caught up in like what's the words I'm looking for? Not knowing how to. Hold on a second. Let me think. Try not to like get too caught up in the idea of it as a transition. Just try and do it and don't think too much. Like you think a lot of it is just don't do it. Like with the way you aim, you're aiming very slowly, very smoothly. Like you don't need to go that slow, that smooth. And I saw it in the first part of your deathmatch. I was like, how is no one killing this guy? He's taking an hour to line up each shot. Because you weren't really being reflexive with it. You were being very slow, very smooth,
Okay.
and like you don't need like you can go faster and hit more shots, right? That makes
Okay.
sense. So hit
Hmm.
replay, try to flick micro adjust, like do an actual fast flick, and then just wherever it lands, you just micro adjust onto the target from there. Doesn't have to be super fast.
Like, is this
Yeah, that's good. That's
like,
good. Maybe even a yeah. Doesn't have to be like so fast you're out of control, but just if you're landing more than like a few target lengths away, like okay, that one was too slow. Bit faster? Yeah. Just experiment with it.
well, and that's the issue I have, and that's part of the issue I was talking about with Valorant is so actually it makes a lot of sense. So rather than trying to flick to the target, flick near and then readjust. Am I still flicking too slow?
All right, you lost like 40 points on that. That's not really much of a drop at all, and you hit more targets.
Okay.
Actually, you hit the same number of targets. So let's see. What do I want to say now? You just really got to experiment. It's like a flick, an actual like fast movement flick, and then a micro adjustment, if that makes sense, right? Flick, micro adjust, flick, micro adjust. And then
So yeah. this is where also I've been wondering,
Yeah.
do I need to raise my sense? Is my sense too low right now? Like, because if you notice, when it comes to longer
Scroll
flicks,
to the top of that leaderboard. Most of the people who can do it nowadays play aim lab, but let me see. Okay, yeah, you see the guy in 13th place?
Mhm.
He could easily come back and take the first place, right? He just has a contract with aim lab. Same with the guy in 18th place. The guy in 18th place right there, he's actually set scores on the equivalent scenario in aim lab that are better than the number, definitely the number 4 score. I think the number 3, 2, and 1, 3 and 2, and probably 1. It would be close with 1, right? But the point is, those two
Mhm.
guys did that on sense significantly lower than yours. Significantly. It's so, can
Okay.
you raise your sense? Sure. Is it like a pretty low sense for Valorant? Yeah. Would you feel better on that? Possibly, but it's not keeping you from flicking quickly.
Okay.
Yeah, but those two guys in 13th and 18th could both pretty much take the 2 spot effortlessly, and probably the 1 spot too. It's just very close. So yeah, replay it, and let's see. You'll find when they're that close together, like those 7 targets were, you don't really need the micro adjustment because you can just keep moving,
Yeah.
like clusters. All right. Same
So
number of targets, you just missed more.
how are you, but like, how are you supposed to get faster? I mean, of course, training, but like, because I feel like I'm going like as fast as I can. And so,
At the
yeah,
moment,
that's
you're
something I've,
not. You're
okay.
probably not going as fast as you can. But also at the moment, most of your time on these flicks is being lost in the micro adjustments because you're bad at them. Like, if you were, most of your time is being lost in the micro adjustments right now. So you'd find probably you could get to like, if your micro adjustments were a bit faster, you could probably get to like a 1200 pace, right? With these initial
Okay.
flick paces and accuracy levels. Then, other than that, the only way to go faster is just to go faster. Like, aim a bit faster, and you'll find you'll land in a less close. Here, hit done for me. Let's do a
Okay.
little experiment. All right, so you made 100 clicks. You didn't double click on any of the targets, so you got to 100 targets. Play the scenario above that. 1 while 6 targets TE. Just challenge it.
Okay.
Same technique, just flick fast. You may or may not need micro adjustments. You can go a bit faster even. Just micro adjust more.
See, this is where I haven't ever like really practiced, like just like saying fuck it and just like going hella fast.
Yeah.
So that's part of it too, I guess.
You see what that is? Your score is 1 in 20. you had 142 shots or hits and 169 total shots, right? So you can say to yourself, oh, well, on that 1 while 6 target small run, I was going as fast as I can possibly move your arm, right? But then you come over here, same map, so you're still moving the same average distances, but where you have to be less precise, all of a sudden you're hitting like almost double the pace you were before. So,
Mm-hmm.
like, it definitely is something you can. One, you're not pushing your speed to the maximum because, like, the micro adjustments, and you just need to get better at being more precise. And two, you can teach yourself to move your arm faster. You just gotta practice doing it, failing, and then you get to a point where the completely out of control whipping your mouse around your mouse. Because just like if you were to completely out of control whip your mouse across your mouse pad, you'd be a lot faster than you were going in that 1 while 6 target small originally, right? And in this run, like just try it.
Okay.
Just whip your mouse pad, just like what you were doing when you were testing the friction, like. Just whip it around. Just like don't even try to aim at a bot. Just like mean that literally. Just like shake it
Oh,
around.
like, oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Just literally like see how much faster you're going. Like
Yeah.
you're physically able to go fast. You just don't have the motor skills to be able to aim at that speed, right?
Yeah, I
So
can't do
as
that
you
actually
get
at all.
better and better, you'll push your speed more towards that whipping around, and then your motor. Then at first it won't feel comfortable. Obviously, don't go straight to whipping it around because that's just won't work. But as you get
Yeah.
better and better, you push your flick speed more towards that whipping it around, and then you get a bit better, and then you're more able to, and then all of a sudden your flick speed is that pace that you were just pushing it towards, and then you do it again and again until all of a
Okay.
sudden you're very, very fast when you aim.
Okay. That's
Cool.
that makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Cool. So let's go back to. So I showed you I want you to play 1 while 6 target small. Um, all right, cool. Let's go back to 1 while 6 target small and just try and flick fast, micro adjustment, and flick fast, micro adjust, flick fast, micro adjust. Not too fast that you're out of control, but just fast enough. Like, even what you were doing wasn't too fast, but yeah. The worst score yet, but also it's the first time you hit more than 88 targets.
True.
So, on improvement or improvement, you could call it either, honestly. As you get better, you'll find accuracy increases. And if you really wanted to push score on the scenario, right, you'd try to go a bit slower with the micro adjustments and be perfectly accurate. But you're not really trying to push score, you're just trying to learn to flick.
Yeah.
Hit done. Hit, search up wide wall 3 targets Pokeball. You're gonna have to put spaces between wide wall and 3 targets, but you can actually, yeah, perfect. All between wide,
Oh.
yeah, there you go. Top one. So what you'll notice in your flicks as you flick faster and it started to happen to you in that run, you'll have some flicks where it'll be kind of hard to stop and they'll shake a bit, right? So play this challenge and see if you can notice that. Like just flick fast between the
Oh,
targets and
it's
see if you can flick faster. Notice right there how you kind of shook when you were stopping your mouse. Did you
That's the
notice?
issue I So I especially notice that when like when I end up flicking with my wrist kind of on the table, I'll notice that like I'll like over flick and it'll like get all shaky right down here. But if I use my arm more and less of my wrist, it's not as shaky. But
All right. Well, you're also going slow and smooth again. Try and go a bit faster.
that's true.
All right, replay it. You could probably go even faster than that. Right there happened.
Yep.
Right there happened. Yeah, so just be aware of that. Basically, the point of this scenario is it helps you speed up your flicks, right? But also, the one issue people will have when they speed up flicks is they develop really bad shakes, right? And
Yep.
you need to have those happen to your you need to experience those while you're training to be able to speed up, right? It's a good thing to have them happen, but they're also mistakes, like missing a target. So you just got to learn to not do them, if
Yeah.
that makes sense. So just be aware, treat them like in this scenario, treat the successful runs as the ones where you don't shake and you hit the target and you flicked fast, and the not successful runs as the ones where you shook too much. If you go an entire run and you see like no shakes or one shake, that's a sign you're going too slow and too smooth like you were towards the end of that run.
Okay.
So like you need some misses or else you're going super slow. Like
Okay.
if you're 100% accurate on a tracking scenario, you're always on target, you're not making any mistakes, then there's nothing to work on.
Okay.
You know, like you got to go to a harder scenario. Same with this. If you're going so slow that you're never shaking, then you need to speed up a bit because you're not pushing your speed to something that'll make you uncomfortable.
Okay. Makes
So,
sense.
yeah, good, good. So, let me. So, all right, so I'm gonna outline your routine real quick. I
Okay.
think I'm gonna make
Real,
it in, huh?
real quick, there's one
Yeah.
other thing also. Um, like my I will say my reactive clicking and
Hmm.
smoothness from like what I've seen in your videos at least uh seems pretty off. Like when I play that Ascent uh multi-peak Ascent one, I feel like I'm barely able to hit the targets. Like
That is a hard scenario, right?
yeah.
So,
And if I'm jumping ahead, then feel free to cut me off. But I just thought I'd
I'm
bring
just
that one up
thinking
too.
through this. I I would like to talk to you about this for longer, but someone did book a session right after this one, so I'm gonna have to make this
Okay, no
relatively
problem.
fast. But hmm, what I think from watching your gameplay is that your number one issue is with your flicks, right? They're very slow, very just like your technique was all off and all that stuff. So you should really be focusing a decent bit of time on that, right? I think your second issue, your dynamic was a very secondary issue, right? You
Okay,
were honestly pretty smooth with how you hit the targets. If anything, you just needed to speed up a little bit. Your technique wasn't really that bad. Like I remember in the first bit of the deathmatch, you were behind a jet, you were behind a jet. It took you a while to get to her, but when you got to her, it was a very smooth motion. It was just a bit too slow. Same with the rest of your aim, right? So I feel
okay,
like what I'm gonna do for you in your routine is I'm going to give you a few. So, part two of it is going to include some precise things to work on your actual micro adjustment control, right?
Okay.
So, it'll have like that raw mouse control clicking three scenario, like I showed you. Three. It'll have an OCH click scenario, right? This will be
Okay.
like a bunch of bots just floating around, small bots dynamically floating around. And search it up for me real quick.
Which one was it again?
OCH click, one word. Just do the top one. You'll probably get a harder version in your routine, but just do the
Do it
top
right
one.
now?
Yep, right now.
Okay.
We got time. So just try and what you want to do here is you want to flick relatively fast, maybe as not as fast as you would in static, just because you're trying to learn smoothness. And then for your micro adjustment, you want to make one motion onto the target, right?
Yeah, and like leading it basically, right?
Yeah, either
Or direct.
very slight. For this one, they changed direction a lot, so you'd want to very slightly lead it, like no more than half a bot length in front of the target.
Okay.
Half a, and by bot length, I mean the diameter of the head. So the rate you want to be within the radius of the head in front of it, ideally. And you want to get there not by flicking there, but by like smoothly moving there, right?
Okay. So flick and then just like
And if you end up on target and just clicking it and don't lead it, that's fine too. You might want to do like a run where you try that, a run where you try not to do that. And then like you also yeah, and also there's like you can lead them slightly, and you can also kind of like net the bot if that makes sense, where you just like or not really. If you're coming in the opposite direction of its motion, right? Instead
Mhm.
you also have the option to just like smoothly get on it and click it instead of waiting for it to come to you, like if that makes sense. It'll look like almost the same motion, but instead of going past it and then waiting, you just click it while you're going over it.
Okay.
And this
And this one where I'm gonna want to be moving, like all these, I'm wanting to be moving basically probably 80% speed, right?
I wouldn't even give it a percent because you don't even have a speed right now.
That's fair.
Um, just
So should I just be
go
moving as fast
fast
as I
enough
can?
that you can be smooth. Like you don't want to go so fast that you're not able to be smooth. I wouldn't even think about too much about how fast you're going if and you also want to work on making it so that you don't flick stop completely and then aim at the target when it's moving. Just slow your flick into a motion and then get on it, right? Because you waste
So,
time stopping, reacting to the target's updated motion when you can just make it one motion, right?
so my mouse should basically always be moving.
Yeah, pretty much. It
There
doesn't have
should
to
be
be
no
moving when
like,
it's in front of the target and it's about to get into it, but it shouldn't be stopping just after each flick once before it gets to the bot, if that makes sense. Then
so
over time, you
that
might want to. There's like different things you can work on. You can work on like your technique where you let the bot come into you. You might want to work one time on like just going into the bot and not even bothering leading it, just getting on it and clicking it, right? Because those are both techniques, right? And then you might want to work, but not tracking. You want to make sure you don't spend like time like
okay, like
following
just
each
flick.
bot and staying on it like for a long period of time, like you've been kind of doing here. That's the most
Okay.
important thing. Uh, go for the heads. Don't bother with the bodies. Like you can spam the bodies, but that's easy. The bodies are the tubes. The heads are the circles. You just have
Yep.
one that you've hit a lot of body shots on. Don't bother with spamming the bodies because that's easy. These are big bodies. Let's see. Speed increases. So the second half of your routine will be one wall, six targets small. Poke the wide wall, three targets Pokeball, etc. And how long do you want to train per day?
Uh, would you recommend all tr like uh training completely in Kovacs, or
Whatever you
would you
want to do. Just
recommend
how long do you want like Kovacs per day? I guess would be the question.
half hour to an hour at most?
Half hour. All right, I'll make half hour. 30 min per day. I'll make you two playlists. I'm not sure if I'll make two 15s that you play every day or a 30 and a 15 and you alternate them.
Okay.
Let's see.
Whatever you'd recommend.
Uh, it'll just depend on when I'm making it, how much scenario diversity I can kind of uphold, if that makes sense. Like if it feels like you'd end up playing the same scenarios 6 times over in a routine. It just depends on what scenarios I'm looking at and like how the playlist kind of forms as I'm throwing them together. I'll probably do that in like in an hour once I finish the current session I'm gonna be going into.
Okay.
Um, and so I'll still have everything from you fresh in my head. I'll just have to think like, what is the issues? What do I need to look into and all that, and then I'll just look at the scenarios and just see what happens. And then I'll
Okay.
probably recommend playing the second routine, the precise routine. Here, I'll make a note of this right now. First routine is speed. Second is precise. Play first near main sense. Second on a higher sense. So maybe play like 30 cm through 50 cm for second routine. Play your second routine somewhere in the range of like 30 centimeters to 50 centimeters per 360.
Okay. What sense would that? I mean, I can look up the calculation,
Yeah.
but yeah, I'll just look it up. It's all good.
Yeah, it's built into Kovac, so you can literally just go
Oh, it is?
settings. Yeah, settings. And then you see the gear next to the sense. It'll be like a
Mm,
very faint gear next to the
yeah.
sensitivity field. You can literally just type in the centimeters per 360 and
Oh,
it'll automatically change.
okay, cool.
All right, sweet. Let's see. I gotta go to my next session because I'm
Yep.
running late, but we've gone over everything that I wanted to go over. If you have any questions at any point, just DM me and I'll answer them for you. And yeah,
Okay.
all
Sounds
right,
good.
sweet.
I
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Bye. Sorry, I'm late. I had a session right before this and it ran a few minutes late.
Absolutely no problem.
Thank
I
you.
watched it.
Oh, nice. Nice. Let's see. Let's see.
Okay,
Let
great. This
me.
works already. Perfect.
Perfect, perfect. Let me see. I'm just making some notes for you. Nice, nice. Let's
hmm
see. What would you say your goals are?
In general, just to get better, I don't really think I have a certain goal in mind. I have been a master player in Overwatch in season one and recently reached it again. So maybe the goal is to reach GM, but it's not a
Okay.
necessity.
And the main game is Overwatch.
Yeah, pretty much the only game is
All right, that's perfect.
Overwatch.
You want to like show me a f- try hard free for all or something like just something in Overwatch to get us started with like what your aim looks like in that game?
Sure, I actually uploaded it to YouTube.
Oh, perfect. Let's see that.
Let me just give the link to you.
Perfect. Love it when people.
Uh, so I have to say I play mainly Soldier, Widow, and Cassidy, so I don't know.
The
Doesn't
main
matter what I.
for those three, I the VOD should honestly it'd be nice if the VOD showed all three or like you had three VODs with each of them so I could just see all of them because like the thing about Overwatch is the aim styles are so different between each hero like Soldier very tracking Widow and Cassidy are both like more clicking based but Cassidy's a lot like faster paced. Widow's a lot more reading based, if that makes sense. Like, because you
Mhm.
kind of got to just. Widow takes a lot more predictions. So let's see this.
Yeah, I'm really sorry. The
Yeah, no worries.
YouTube scaled it down quite a bit. I hope you can actually notice the things you have to notice.
No worries. It's fine. It's fine.
Perfect.
So, let's see. How long have you been playing Overwatch for?
Way too long.
Way too long. Nice, nice.
Since since 2016. So basically for 6 years now.
Yep. Nice. That's fair. That's fair.
And I stopped a few months ago and came back in Overwatch 2.
Nice. That's that's good. Zero aim Overwatch name. Nice, nice.
Yeah, well, the name has to fit.
Yes, sir.
Uh,
Yep, I would say. Nice. Just gonna really focus on this font. A lot of body shots. Just on Widow. Okay, nice. You finally hit a headshot 4 minutes in.
yeah, it happens sometimes.
So the first thing I noticed, it seems like you have a technique where when you're a bit off target, right?
Hmm.
Off target, you will actually I can just put this in my notes. I'll write it for you. You will hard flick and hope it hits, right? Usually what that means is the person, in this case you, like when someone does that, they tend not to actually be able to read the target and they're just trying to compensate for that with a very fast hard flick and just hope that it lands so that they can have a chance of hitting the shot, right? And they don't really have much of a because like a
Um,
lot of the time you wouldn't hit it. It wasn't like you just stay next to them, trail them, and then all of a sudden, boom, you just flick fast and hope you
mhm,
got to them before they moved out of the way of your bullet and hope the flick landed. So we'll probably work a
mhm,
bit more on like smoothness and dynamic clicking.
mhm,
Let's see. Like it's not bad to flick fast, but you got to be able to do it consistently and accurately, and you can't. And you to do that, you kind of got to learn to be a bit smoother with it. It doesn't have to be like so smooth that you're like taking an hour to line up your shots and all that and like
mhm,
tracking them and stuff. It just has to be you got to just move your crosshair to them, intercept them, and if you're able to hit a headshot, it'll be a lot better than hitting a bunch of bodies. So even if you lose a bit of time on the flick pace, one, you'll miss a lot less, and two, you'll hit more headshots. So overall, you'll be killing faster.
yeah.
Let's see, you hit a lot of bodies on Soldier as well, which isn't a huge, which isn't like gonna hold you back from getting GM, obviously. Like GM soldiers tend to have very low HSPs, but at the same time, it shows that you don't have a ton of control. And if you could accurately, oh, you hit some heads. If you could accurately, consistently hit heads, then you'd probably perform better. But again, you first have to get to the skill level where you're able to hit more heads than like whatever the headshot multiplier is times bodies, which is what is it in Overwatch again? The headshot multiplier for
Uh,
soldier?
I
Go on.
think for most heroes it's 2, but for Widow it's a bit different. It's a
Yeah,
bit
Widow.
higher.
Yeah, Widow's a bit off, but Widow is one tap for soldier. It's two though.
Yeah, I think so.
So if you're able to hit heads twice, or if you're able to hit the heads half as often as bodies, it's worth it to aim for the heads, right? So you just got to
Hmm.
work on. And usually the reason people aren't able to hit heads, like sometimes it'll be super long range and it'll just be very hard, but a lot of the time you just need to get better at like tracking smaller targets
Hmm.
that are moving fast because a lot of aim training will eat the targets will just be very massive. Like I don't know what your aim training experience would be.
Um, I've used them in Overwatch 1 a few months ago, probably was the last time I used them actively.
So you haven't really
Uh,
Kovacs much at all. Okay, that's fine.
yeah, I have around 100 hours in it,
Okay, yeah,
not
that's
more.
not bad. Um, so let me think for a second. You're not really much of a Kovacs player, which is fine. But how long do you want to aim train per day? Because like it's
I would
very
s-
yeah.
I would say half an hour to an hour.
All right, and hmm, I'm gonna say half an hour, and I want you to stick for at least 2 weeks, doing no more and no less than half an hour every day. Like obviously, if you have like some trip happening and you're not with your PC for the whole day, you don't have to aim train that day. But overall, I'd try and every single day get like half an hour in before you start
Okay.
going to an hour. Unless like you don't have like a I don't know how old you are, but like you don't have like a small child that would like make it so that your schedule's very inconsistent or something, right?
No,
Or like a
no.
weird job. Okay, cool. That like as long as you're able to like as long as you have like the time, you should try and do half an hour a day, no more, no less.
Hmm.
Like if you had a really weird schedule, you could only play once or twice a week, then maybe an hour a day would make sense on the days you can play if you wanted
Hmm.
to. But
Hmm.
where you don't, I'd just say try and be as consistent as possible with it and just do half an hour a day, get in the habit of half an hour every day, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. And then if you enjoy it and you want to, you can start to do more. You can go for like an hour every day, right?
Hmm.
So let's see, let me just make some notes. Widow, better at dynamic target reading. Soldier. Let me just make a few clarifying notes. Get better at dynamic target reading and smoothness. Soldier. Get better at tracking small targets. Let's see. But yeah, overall. Hmm. Yeah, it's about being consistent with it. That's a lot more important. Like anyone can aim train for like 4 hours one day and then never pick it up again, or like aim train for an hour a week and then just like never pick it up again. Like if you have an aim train much for all of Overwatch 2, then you probably just need to work on getting back into aim training more, right?
Yeah, totally. I think if you would start with something like 2 hours, you would get burned out
Oh,
pretty quickly.
effortlessly.
So,
Effortlessly. I've had people like I always have people who like request like 2 hours a day of aim training and then I have to like talk them down from 2 hours to like 1 hour to 30 minutes because they'll be like, yeah, I mean, I'm down to go train for like 2 hours, whatever it takes to get fast progress. And it's like, progress? Okay. I just saw your first Cassidy engagement. That's why I said okay. Progress is not that fast. Like that's just impossible.
yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. All right, so let's start out on one wall, five targets passive. It'll be on online scenarios, and you'll see it immediately. It's on the first sheet of online scenarios, the first few. Or no, you changed your favorite, so it's not. Um, yep, that seems like what you would have as your favorites. Why does that not surprise me? Five targets passive 60. Yeah, just play the 60 version. It's
Uh,
it's it's third from the top or fourth from the top.
this
Right
one?
there. Yep.
Okay.
Just see what you got. Don't try and do anything special based on our conversations. Just try to do it the way you'd expect to have to do it. The way you would have done it if you saw this an hour ago. If I started up by just saying play the scenario. All right, that's good. Let's see. Hit done. What do I want to see next? Let's go to close, fast strafes, invincible. You see how it says highest rated on the top right of the
Yep.
box? Yeah. Go to newest created, then back to highest rated. It's basically just a Kovacs glitch where like. There you go. Do the close, fast strafes, invincible. It's on there. It's like 8 down or so. This is the easy
Oh,
version. Let's.
okay.
I think you can handle the hard version. Let's see the hard version right there. Close, fast strafes, invincible. 2 more down. 2 more down.
Not down. This
There
one.
you go. Yep. Challenge it. Let's see what you got. Let's go to the easy version.
Should I change again or?
Just quit challenge, yeah, and then go to the easy version. Easy. Nice. Challenge. All right, so stop this for a second. You got CFS. Uh, 2 issues, right? 1, you trail. Uh, you will follow the bot at its pace behind it, but not yet on it. If that makes sense. You're like tracking its shadow. Or like
So,
the ghost of it 20 seconds ago. So in this case, what you want to do is not flick, but speed up your mouse slightly, or not slightly, but so you're faster than the bot, and then be on target, right? On target, and slow down so that you're on pace with the bot. So basically, I just made a note for you just so you can like look back at it. So you're gonna
mhm,
speed up when you see that you're trailing, like you were aware of the time, you were aware of this happening, at least now that I pointed it out.
yep.
So speed up and then slow down. Speed. Let's see, does that make sense? Like you don't want to flick so fast that all of a sudden you stop your mouse and then you're disoriented, you don't know where the target is, and all of a sudden you're not tracking, you're not doing anything. You just want to speed up, slow down a bit, just a little bit, and just to get back on target. And then you're just moving at the same speed as the target when the flick is done. Or not the flick, the smooth adjustment, like very smooth motion. So hit play again and just try it.
Yeah, it's really hard without flicking.
No, that was
At
better
least not. At least.
because what happened was your second issue was obviously that you weren't smooth enough when the target was doing a shorter strafe, right? But during the longer strafes, what would happen is you would trail it. There would be a frame or two where you were trailing it, like maybe 3 frames where you'd be trailing, but then like all of a sudden it would go back to you getting back on the target. You'll find that it definitely is a different technique, but basically right now your technique is a very low skill ceiling crutch, right?
Mhm.
You flick to the target, you hope you're on target, you stop, you're like just shaky, and then you got to readjust to knowing where the target is. What tracking is a continuous motion of staying on the target, right? And continuously knowing where the target is, right? And the flicking kind of breaks that continuity.
Mhm.
So instead, what you want to try and do is instead of like having a hard flick where you stop, you have to react to where the target is, everything has to be readjusted. You just move smoothly and just constantly know where everything is. And after a bit of time doing that, you'll find the scores will skyrocket. But again, when you're learning a new technique, you can't expect cool results like high scores. And sometimes they happen, but a lot of the time you take a divot in your scores and then they get better. And
Yeah, of
obviously you
course.
haven't really grinded the scenario much before, so you don't really have much of a score on it. Let's see. So there is an invincible version of this. I'll probably when I actually give you training, it'll probably be more on the invincible version. And then as
Hmm.
you get better and better at that, you can obviously switch it out your own for the not easy version. It'll be the same thing,
Okay.
just without easy in the name.
Hmm.
Let's see. CFSI learned smoothness. So now what we're gonna move on to is control sphere. Uh, just it's just called control sphere, one word. Control sphere, but one word. S sphere is SPHERE. There you go. Top one. You had the E before the H. Challenge it.
Oh, okay.
How tightly do you feel like you're holding your mouse?
I don't think I hold it tightly at all.
Okay, good. Stop for a second. This is the bot's motion. Let's see. Curve. It's a very smooth, continuous motion, right? And then this is you trying to track it, right? This new curve is you trying to track it. Right? So you're no new curve, no new curve shapes sphere. But then this is the bot's radius, right? So at any point, pretty much all the points along this curve, you would be on target, but you are also trailing, right?
Sorry, should I see anything?
Do you not see the Google drawing?
No, I
Oh, am I
don't
not
see
sharing my
it.
screen? Oh, I'm not sharing my screen. Wait, hold up. Hold on, let me pull Discord into a second tab in. You should see it, right? It's just the Google drawing.
I can only see my
It's my screen share.
1 second. Okay, yeah, I can see it now.
Oh, okay. You seem to react when I said this is the bot's motion, very smooth, and this is you. So I figured you knew. So basically, green is you, orange is bot's motion, right? The bot moves along a very smooth, continuous path, right?
Hmm.
And you're always like a bot's length away from that path, but just very shaky.
Hmm.
So what you want to try to do is you want to try and reduce some of these spikes in your aim, make them smaller, make them non-existent, and just move along the path with the bot, right? Now, obviously,
Hmm.
it'll be harder to react. So, like, let's see, let's make another curve. So, like, the ideal person might end up having something that looks kind of like this, and then they get back on it, and they're with it for a minute, and they go past it, and then it looks like this, and they're back on it. And they go a bit past it, then they get back with it, and then they're like this, and then they're like this. So that, like, you will have to do some reacting. Like you won't be able to perfectly follow the bot's path, especially not now. But eventually,
Hmm.
this like these spikes might be like right now for you, they might be like 2 or 3 bot lengths, but eventually they might be like 1 bot length, half a bot length, and that's when you start getting like way better. That's when you start getting like actually good at aiming and you start to have perfect accuracy. It's not because you're instantly reacting, just because you're in enough control that you're able to stay within the bot's length for one reaction, if that makes sense, right?
Yeah, makes
So
sense.
let's see. Now I'm gonna stop streaming and just
Hmm.
try. You don't have to try to be the purple line, but perfectly or like just try to be more smooth with it. Try not to like constantly be moving back forth like you're predicting the bot. Just watch it, follow it. So play.
Yeah, but I know what you mean. Uh, it's very shaky.
Yeah, it is. And that's probably it seems like it could be a control or a technique issue if that makes sense, right?
Hmm.
All right, cool. You can stop this. So I think you understand the technique in here. I'll give you access to that Google drawing. Hold on, let me find it. Rename. There you go. I just here. Hold on. I share. Anyone with link? Copy link. Uh, there you go. You can see it right there. And you can just see like the different lines. Like the purple is like the line you want to be, the green's the line you are, and the orange is the bot's line.
Hmm. Hmm.
Control
Hmm.
sphere. Be less shaky. Now I'm gonna give you a scenario that'll be very hard for you because it's so small, but it's
Hmm.
also a very slow bot. So of the scenarios the size is probably like one of the easiest, right? So quit challenge. I think you'll shake a lot, but I think because it's slow enough, you'll be able to handle it. So keep controls. Actually, it's right there. It's the last scenario showing up on your screen.
This one?
Extra control sphere 1. It's the last one showing up on your screen, like the very bottom. Did you click it? Yeah, perfect. Challenge it and just see if you can handle it.
Okay.
It'll be shaky, but it's so slow you're able to focus a lot on technique, and I really like it. I'm just curious, what sense do you play on?
800 DPI with 4.33
Okay, let me
in
look up
game.
what that is. Oh, gee. Let's see. 800 DPI, 4.43.
4.33. But yeah, it
33.
doesn't really
Yep.
make a big difference.
40, exactly 40 centimeters. Okay, yeah, that's fine. If you were playing on like double that sense, then there might be a problem, but you're not. Yeah. Not bad, not bad. You feel like you're able to handle this?
I think it's a bit smoother now.
Yeah, it's smoother and you're like, but it's just a target that's like a lot closer to the size of a head you'd see in game more frequently. So I just like giving people like at least one or two scenarios that's like the size they'll see in game, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it done.
Okay.
Quit challenge. Search up. Let's go back to let's search up Pasu small. Search up Pasu small.
What? Passive?
PASU small. Add in the word small. You're gonna have to type in small for it to pop up because there's so many. And then yeah, just the second one. Let's just try the second one.
Okay.
Challenge it. And then just try and hit these. Alright, stop for a second. Before you begin. So right now what you do, you track these bots, right? You just follow them like you're tracking them, right? When you play Widow, you don't play it like you're playing Soldier, right? You play it more like you're just trying to get a shot off. You're not trying to stay on target. So in game, you do this a lot. I don't want to say better because in game you were so far to the extreme that you were on the other side of making mistakes, right? So what I want you to do here is I want you to try and flick so you're near the bot, then just make a relatively smooth motion to get on it, but then just click after that motion, right? So not trying to stay on it for an extended period of time and track it. Just get on it, click, get to the next one. And a lot of the time you'll miss and it won't be pretty because you'll be learning a new technique, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you want to balance smoothness like that thing you do on Widow where like you're like next to the target, then you adjust fast and try and click it.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing you do that last run where you're just tracking the bots. So hit play again and just try and find that balance of just smooth motion and
Okay.
try and click. And it's a technique, it's a technical learning. Yup. There you go. And you can also take advantage of the fact that these bots don't switch direction that often and kind of make your motion to where they're going a little bit in front of them and then just kind of wait for them. You're tracking right now. You're tracking. And then just kind of, yup, nice. Tracking. Just move on after a few misses.
Mm.
No need to, because we're really working on the smooth adjustment. So after like even two missed shots, right? You just become tracking, and that's not really what we're working on. So just don't even bother with that target because you just want to get another repetition of trying a smooth adjustment on. You can't land all of them, but you'll learn to land more.
Yeah.
Honestly, less of a score dip than I expected. You actually did pretty good for that technique to begin with. So let's see. Pasu. Dot, dot. Try to be smooth. Try to make a smooth flick to where the target is. Do not track. Click. If you miss once or twice, move on. Just giving you a few notes on instructions on how to play passive more effectively in the DMs. So let's see, hit on. Now search up popcorn. Let's try popcorn goaded. Should have what I want it to have. Challenge it. Yeah, that's good enough. So basically what you're going to find here is it's very easy to track, or not very easy, but it's very easy to want to track these bots, right? What you want to do is think of your crosshair like a fishing net, right? You ever been fishing before?
No, I haven't been.
All right. Trying to think of a reference you'd understand. All right, your name's Get Swifty, right? That's
Yeah.
the username you use. So Rick shoots the portal and then he walks into the portal, right? Or if he's falling from a height and then he shoots the portal, then he'll fall into that portal, right?
Yeah.
That's how he does it. Think of your crosshair as the portal and the bots as Rick instead of the other way around, right? You move your crosshair to a point where the bot will pass into it, right? And when the bot's at its apex, at its highest motion, it'll move a lot more slowly. So you're a lot more able to just move your crosshair to like right, maybe like right after its highest motion or right where it'll be at its highest peak, and then just sit there, let it cross into your target, and it will be moving until you get to the bot, right? But just
Yeah.
replay and try and net the bots, and you're pretty much guaranteed as long as you hit one shot to high score. So just
So,
replay it.
so pretty much I shouldn't track them. I should let them fall into my crosshair. Like
Yes, like
this.
yeah, and it becomes a motion you gotta learn, and then yeah, just let them, because yeah, you don't even need to make your crosshairs so low because they'll be moving so fast when they get there. You want to try and like move it up a bit, and then yeah, let's see, move it up a bit, and then just like get below it. There's various different popcorn scenarios I'll give you. Perfect. Yep. Nice. Hey, very big high score. Oh, this is an act scored. All right, cool. So, passive. And this technique applies a lot more on popcorn, but it can also be used in passive type scenarios where you just kind of let it come into your target crosshair. So, but with passive, at least for now, I want you to work on it the way we talked about it. Popcorn, let the bots fall into your crosshair. Let's see. One wall, 5 targets, passive small. Let's see, what else do I want to look at? Hmm. All right, let me just find the scenario I want. I know what it looks like, I just don't know what it's called. Let me just. All right, search up Pasu 3-click.
This one.
Yep, V2. It's yeah, there you go. Basically just this is Cole Cassidy, right? You it's passive, but you have to hit it 3 times. So it's more of a tracking scenario. Like you'd want to get on the bot
Hmm.
using your passive technique from your normal passive, and then just try and stay on it like you're tracking. It's a combination of the two. You can reset the challenge so you get an actual score. And you're trailing, you're trailing. Perfect. Cool. So it's done. Search up passive extra small horizontal. And then play the 2-hit version. Same concept, except you only need 2 bullets. Challenge.
Oh God.
Try and stay smooth with it, even if you struggle. Is that a semi-transparent crosshair?
Uh, actually should be green. But yeah.
I
Oh no,
meant
it's
semi-trans, as in like, is it like partially transparent?
I have no idea to be honest.
I don't know how to check it. I didn't even know that was a setting in Codex, to be honest with you. That's, it just seems like I
Uh,
can see the target through it sometimes, but that might just be the aspect ratio. All right, hit you. It doesn't matter. We can just play.
yeah.
It's probably just like, yeah, it's probably just the screen. I like how green's the color that most Overwatch players use, because it's just like a coincidence that it happened to be like a color that doesn't show up a lot in the game, I've heard, right?
Yeah. That's exactly the reason.
But the cool thing about green is it's also the fastest color that the human eye can react to. Like,
Oh,
at least in
okay.
huh? Like, you might notice how street signs and those yellow traffic vests are starting to switch to like that kind of neon greenish.
Mm-hmm.
That's because like some studies show that that's the fastest color the human eye can react to, which I think is pretty cool.
Okay, I've never heard about that. Interesting.
So yeah, I tend to try and include. It's really not a huge difference on the. I mean, for gaming, but it helps. But like, I try and include some green in all of my color schemes. Like, yeah. So hit done.
Mhm.
Just either a target green or a crosshair green, just to make it easier on myself. So let's see. You did pretty good here. So hit done. So let's go over what we've learned so far. So you want to be smooth when the bot's moving fast. You want to shake less when the bot's small and you got to control it. You want to be smooth in general. And smoothness, an important thing to remember is smoothness is like a continuity of your motion. It's not being very slow and steady. It is being steady, but it's not being extremely slow, right? You can be very fast and very smooth. Smoothness
Mhm.
is a continuousness and like not having those pauses where you have to react to the bot's new direction because you flicked. Obviously, there will be times where the bot changes direction, where the enemy changes direction, and you got to react to them. But smoothness is just kind of a way to be better at those things, right? And just be
Hmm.
more continuous. Now, in game, in Overwatch, you're going to find at first it'll be very hard to be smooth, and you'll probably perform a decent bit worse if you're being smooth. I'd say when you're in your death matches and all that stuff, I would always try to aim more smoothly, right?
Hmm.
Just because it'll give you practice and it'll let you apply that to Overwatch. When you're in game, right? The way you aim right now is a crutch. And, well, you don't throw away your crutches after the first day of physical therapy, right? Like,
Yeah.
it would just be very hard to walk. So, if you want to throw away your crutches and just try and be smooth in game, in the long run, that would probably be better, but you would see performance tank at first. It'd be very annoying. It'd be very
Hmm.
hard. And if it feels overwhelming, even at first, like, because you're really not the best player, you're not that good. So at first, it might even be overwhelming to try and focus on ranked and being smooth and just not work out at all, right?
Hmm.
So I'm just going to leave that up to you. Whatever you do in ranked for the first few weeks, just do it how you do it, right?
Hmm.
Let's see. As you get better with the smoothness, you'll find like you'll want harder versions of the scenarios. So like look for smaller things, look for harder things. I'm going to start you off on stuff that you can really handle and isolate the smoothness with. And then
Hmm.
and if you ever need help finding a specific scenario, you can just DM me, like just say like, "Oh, I need a pass-through 3-click that's like 20% smaller." And like worst case scenario, if it doesn't exist, I can make it in like 15 seconds. Just DM me and talk to me about that. And if you ever feel like your aim's changed a lot to the point where you want to look into like better techniques, new techniques, like really developing, then you can do a follow-up session or get like a 30-minute follow-up session, which is like less than half the price, right? Just because it's
Okay.
a follow-up. And if you don't want to do that, that's fine too. It doesn't matter to me. Um, I'm just letting you know it's available if you ever wanted it. Uh,
Hmm.
and then, but yeah, I won't even like I won't. It's just because I won't make you pay if you need like just a different scenario or like help like updating your routine to make it a bit smaller, a bit harder as your technique evolves, right? Just because I feel like that'll happen relatively quickly as you learn new techniques, right? So just let me know if you want a harder routine. Make sure you're doing training 30 minutes every day, right?
Okay.
That's the key.
Hmm.
Like, be every day with it. And yeah, let me know if you have any major progress you get GM and just how things are going after the session. I'll,
Okay.
all right.
Thanks a
Do
lot.
you have any questions for me? Anything you wanted to go over?
Um, I don't really think. Yeah, there's still one question, and I don't
Yes.
really. I think you have mentioned it
All right. Yeah.
earlier.
Ask it. Whatever you wanted to ask.
Um, I'm always a bit confused with flicking characters. So let's say Cassidy or Widowmaker.
Okay. Cassidy and
For,
Widow.
for or well, let's take Widowmaker for example.
Yes.
She has to charge up her shot before she can do a
Yeah. Yeah.
headshot instant kill. So what I'm always doing while the shot is charging, I'm trying to track their heads as best as possible and then do a micro flick onto their head again. And I don't
Yep.
know if this is a bad habit or if I should stop doing that. And I
So
think,
your issue was that you wouldn't be tracking them effectively, right?
Mhm,
Like if you were perfect at aiming, right? You'd be able to track them perfectly, right?
mhm,
And then you'd just be able to just click, but that's very hard to do, right? So
Hmm.
ideally, yeah, you want to track them to an extent, stay close to them. You don't have to be perfect with it. But then instead of doing the micro flick, when you're charged up or even close to charged up, right? Because you'll have like, if you're at like 99, 100%, right? Or whatever it is to one tap a light character, I think it might be 66% to one tap a
I
like a 200 health character, because the
I
max
think
damage is 300 damage, right?
I think it's around 80%
Is it
actually, but I'm
80%?
not
Okay, yeah.
sure.
If you're, once you get to that number, just remember the Passu we were playing?
Hmm.
The Passu small? Play it like that. Don't play it like you're. The point of that was to give you that technique, right? You want to make
Hmm.
a smooth motion. It'll still be a flick. You'll still just get there and click them. But if you're a bit smoother, you'll be a bit more able to control it. You'll be more likely to either hit a head and one tap them, or even more likely to just hit the body. As you get better, you'll be able to very consistently headshot with that.
Hmm.
And as you get better, it'll be a lot faster and it'll start to get back to the pace you were going in game, except you'll actually be hitting your shots.
Hmm. Okay. Yeah, sounds good.
Cool, cool. I got nothing left for you because we went over your main issues that I saw.
Mhm.
Like you were you just weren't smooth, really. That was the main thing. Just be more smooth. And yeah, I'll draft up a playlist for you, send it over to you, and
Hmm.
yeah, I've got nothing left for you if you got nothing left for me.
No, I've got nothing left.
All right,
So
perfect. Thank
thank you
you.
very much for your time. Maybe we'll hear each other again sometime
Yes.
soon.
Please let me know if you hit GM, anything good happens, just let me know anything that happens because I am genuinely interested in people's progress after coaching.
Okay,
Yes, please.
perfect.
All right,
I
cool.
will message you again.
All right,
Thanks a
sweet.
lot.
Thank you. I'll send you over the routines as soon as I can, probably within the next
Hmm.
like 10 or 15 minutes.
Yeah, take your time. No problem.
All right, sweet.
So,
Bye.
thanks a lot. Bye.
I'll talk to you. Nice guy. I wonder when he'll get the reference that this name of this document is the episode of Rick and Morty that his name comes from. I don't think he'll get, I wonder if he'll get that. I don't watch Rick and Morty much. I had to look that up. I do watch it a bit, but not a ton. Let's see. So we'll just make him. He just needs one playlist. New. You know, I'm gonna make the reference again, just to see if he questions it ever. Season 2, E5. Just for trolls. Pass to 3 click V2. Pass to 360 reload angelic 3 click. Pass to 3 angelic. Let me just make sure these are what I want them to be. Cool. If anything, that's too easy. Oh, yeah, that's the easy version, so yeah, I'll find the hard version. And this is pass to 3 click. I like that. Pass to 3 click. 360 goaded. Uh, 2 click not easy. 2 click and 2 click small. Put on there. It's 2E5. Then I'll remove this one because it's too easy. Hi Neil. You're my favorite coach. You're my favorite subscriber. Consistently train. Uh, I know that it's good to consistently train like once a day, but what if I can't do that? Then, yeah, I mean, you have a life. Everyone's got a life. So if you can't do it, just do what you can do. Make the best you can of your situation. Pass too small. 1 all 5 targets pass too small. Is this the same scenario, but like just slightly different size or something? Uh, yep, same scenario. All right, cool. Pass through dodge small. Cool, cool. I like that. Let's see. Is anyone still even in chat? And in my opinion, one of the top 5 most aim intensive games. I don't know. I don't know. Popcorn. Popcorn goated. Popcorn will take easy. Popcorn will take. Yeah, it's good enough. Let's see, what else do we want? Close, fast, strafes, easy, invincible, air, UFO, 10x hard invincible. Control sphere. Smooth sphere. What is this scenario? This is not on the benchmarks. I don't know what that is. Quake, yeah, Quake would be aim intensive. Let's see. Plaza ground, plaza high ground, easy, plaza low ground easy. And then it's like 10 minutes of scenarios. I'll chop out the hard versions for now. He can put in the easy hard versions when he wants it. Let's see, what else do I want in the scenario? We've gone over the tracking part, the small tracking part, the control spheres, the reactive stuff. All right, so now to balance the times out. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 minutes. 4 min of multi-click right now. Multi-click dynamic, actually 5 minutes because the passive. 1, 2, 3. 3 min of smooth flick. 2 min of read. Base dynamic, and now for his tracking, 1, 2, 5, 7 minutes of reactive, 3 minutes of precise. So right now we're at 20 minutes on the routine, and we got to balance things out a bit. So I don't think I'm going to give any more reactive because we're already at 7 minutes of this. He struggled a lot with these precise scenarios. So we have 10 minutes to spare. I'm going to give 1, 2, 3 of those 10 minutes to this. I think the reading, I think predicting these requires 2 more minutes. So now we're at 5 minutes left on the routine. I think we can give 1 more minute to these scenarios. I'll give it to this one. That's 6 minutes, so we got 4 minutes to spare. I'm going to give another minute to this and another minute to this. So we got 2 minutes left. I think those 2 minutes would go best with small passes. S2E5. Share. Here is the playlist. I should have mostly themes, mostly stuff, session, and similar scenarios. The one curve ball is passive dodge. It is just a small passive, but you move. Thought I'd throw that in there so you can work on smooth aiming while moving. Let's see what chat has to say. What do you think about the H&A routines? I like them. I think they're good, but you definitely need to really focus to make sure that you don't make a habit of the shaking, right? Um, yeah, just make sure like because I've seen people use the H&A routines wrong where their aim ends up super shaky, and then you got to correct them, which is good that I had a follow-up session with that person just by coincidence. Um, because I was able to correct them. But yeah, I've seen people do get recommended H&A type routines and they end up very bad. But they can be if they're used properly, they'll end up good. Let's see. Do you coach Fortnite players? I'd like to. I don't think I've ever coached a Fortnite player before, but I feel like it'd be a lot of fun. Is Team Fortress 2 aim intensive? No. I've played that game before. The only person who can aim in that game is a sniper. Other than that, no one aims. Minecraft most aim intensive based, Titanfall, Overwatch, Titanfall, Quake, Diabolical. Have you Diabolical's less aim intensive than Quake. I'm gonna take that take because the targets are bigger. Um, let's see. Let's see. Um, hmm. Let's see. Oh yeah. Have I'm not sure if you've seen it, but there was a time where there was like a bunch of Minecraft aim training going on. Like this guy Rob, my friend Rob, right? I'll pull up his Twitter. Twitter. Yeah, this guy Rob, my friend Rob, right? He makes a Minecraft server, invites every big Kovacs player to it, right? Or every like Kovacs player of like some merit, I guess you could say, or like some notability in the community. So then a bunch of people and aim lab players and then a bunch of people just started making aim trainer scenarios in Minecraft. Like there was a it was a really funny time. Let's see. So yes, Minecraft is aim intensive. As a 5'8" man married to a 5'2" woman, I have to say that I am not attracted to her. I am what? Why is why is that relevant to like things other people were saying earlier? Why is that in my chat? Um, why? Why would you settle at the age of 23? What? What? Why? Why? Like, what if you win the lottery and then all of a sudden you have money? Like, what? Why is that in my chat? What am I? What? Is CSGO or Val aim intensive? I'm guessing that's what you mean by that? No, no, no. How much does aim coaching cost for a 23-year-old boomer aimer? Um, jeez. Um, yeah, bro, married to be unhappy. I agree. Um, jeez. How much does aim coaching cost for a 23-year-old boomer aimer? I don't know. I know. It's weird. It's weird. I agree. Um, Jeez, it's on Metafy. Prices are all on Metafy. There's the one session for $65 where we do an hour and then I make you an aim routine like I just did two of on the stream. And then there's the session where like we talk and or what's it called? Where like we do a long plan together, a training plan. It's called the aim boot camp where like we go back and forth with what Spacing got to say. Didn't get a chance to check it out. Thanks for the heads up. Skypad guy. Let's see. Macmill Gaming. Right. I know exactly what I want to make for this guy, but I'm just gonna look at my notes again. 30 minutes a day. All right. Yep. Yeah, that's the thing. If I wait too long to make playlists like I used to, sometimes I'd forget some of the stuff and really just have to make what I said in my notes. But this way I can like I prefer doing it like I needed to start forcing myself to do it right after because the routines come out better as well. Let's see. This is a 115-minute playlist, based on around fast flicking. I'll give them a 1 while 4 TS reload. Give them the 30% smaller version too. And this is just that's 5 scenarios, 3 each. Yeah, I'll do 3 each. Macmill Gaming. Technical flicks. And then we'll do Macmill Gaming. Technical, not technical. Macmill Gaming, micros, and dynamic. Let's see. And we'll throw in this playlist, OCH click. I'm gonna put in a bunch of OCH clicks, 30% smaller, far no bodies, normal, cool. And then we'll do raw mouse control, 2 raw mouse controls, raw mouse control clicking 3, raw mouse control clicking 3, 30% smaller. Then we'll do and what I also wanted in his normal playlist, I'll put that in a second. I want pressure aiming in there. And then we'll do what other scenarios did I want him to have? DevTS. DevTS is wide apart. WPV 5 sphere, but easy. Yes. The easy version I'd say is probably one of the best. I think the hard version was too small for this scenario. 6 scenarios, so we'll do 2 of each, so we end up with 12 scenarios, and then we have 3 more scenarios. I'm going to give them to, this has 6, this has 6, so I'll give 2 to raw mouse control and 1 to OCH click. And then let's see, let's go Macmill, edit, and we'll give them pressure aiming 7 targets. I want this in here. Actually, you know what? I want reflex flicks in here too. WPV reflex speed flick 75 and reflex flick hard. Reflex flick fair. Reflex flick fair. And then how I'm gonna balance this out? I'm gonna give them one more. I'll give them 1 pressure aiming. Pressure aiming. Actually, I want a minute of pressure aiming. Pressure aiming 7 targets. Shortened. Is this shortened to 60 seconds or is it shortened to something else? 60 seconds, perfect. I'll take these all down to 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is 16 minutes. So I'll take out 1 reflex with fair. Upload, upload, copy. Here is your micros dynamic playlist. Remember, OCH click, be smooth with getting on target. Everything else is fast, is pushing speed. Here is your flick playlist. Remember, push speed a bit. Don't worry too much about accuracy, but also don't go so fast you're not even focused on hitting shots. Don't shake too much. Use the Pokeball scenarios to focus on eliminating shakiness. Live stream. Do you think Titanfall 2 is aim intensive? Can't say I've played, but much I wanted to get into. I think I have it on Steam. I just never downloaded it. What's my mouse and mouse pad right now? Right now I'm just using a random cloth pad from Glorious. I use the Sky Pad sometimes, and I also use the HSK Pro Ace. Are you open for aim coaching currently? I can only order on Medify says you are open. Um, I will release hours for like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, probably just Tuesday and Wednesday later today. Right, I thought the shake was a problem, but never really knew what to do with it. Yeah, just use like um wide wall 3 targets Pokeball and stuff. Do I know that random hacker on YouTube? Yeah, I'm aware of him. I don't know much about him other than that he hacks and has followers. Uh, and get a routine. Do you specialize in? I wouldn't say I specialize in tracking. I'd say it's probably what I'm worst at coaching, honestly. Um, but I can help with it too. I'm not bad at it. I've only seen you oh yeah. I help with tracking, but like I mean, this whole session was really mostly tracking foot or half tracking, half dynamic clicking, I guess. I mean, I'm aware of the concepts. It's a much simpler thing. They're all simple, honestly. I'm aware of the concepts of tracking. Yes, I can help you with your tracking abilities. But you play Tracer and Fortnite and a little Minecraft PvP. Yeah, that's pretty cool, I guess. I can work with you. Um, yeah, Inner Game of Tennis, great book. Gibbs, any chance you can answer my question? Oh, are you open? Oh, yeah, I did. Yeah, I don't know what this Discord link you're talking about is. Can you like, is it something in here? Is it this one? This one should work fine. Friend request pending. Sure. This is probably the guy I'm coaching tonight. I'm not sure though. Uh, is Quake a good game to get better aim? I guess it could help. All right, I am going to end my stream now because I want to go eat food and pack up my car or unpack my car. But we'll be back on with more live aim coaching, or most likely back on for my, unless the guy doesn't want me to live coach him. I'll be back on tonight at 5 p.m. with another coaching session. So yeah.